Okay, so again, to find the inverse, remember you're just switching the x and the y. All right, you're switching the x and y. So for question number 1, all right, you're just making yourself essentially another table, and x, y, and then you're just switching them. All right, so this would be -1, -4, -7, -10, -13. The y value would be -9, -7, -5, -3, and -1. Anybody have an issue with that? Again, very, very easy. Switching x and y. All right. So now, do me a favor and do that for 2 and 3 real quick. All right. Everybody do it for 2 and 3. Hey, concentrate right now. Hey, concentrate. Do not be sidetracked. Test tomorrow.
No, I'm just reading mine. I did that yesterday.
Here we go. Inverse again. X, Y, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody have issues with that? All right. Now, those are the tables. All right. Now we have them written in ordered pairs. All right. So if I'm going to find the inverse of an ordered pair, it's the same exact format. 2, -3. 8, -1. 14, 1. 20, 3. That's really simple. Really simple. All right, make yourself a note. Make sure you got it. Yes. Yeah, remember, I think I said something earlier about one of the most important things you learn is inverses, believe it or not. But right now, this is kind of just like the introduction to the basics. All right. So there's a whole math course talking about functions and their inverses. Okay. So again, very important. But like I said, this is just like the introduction. All right, to inverses. All right, we'll speak on it more. All right. So now everybody go ahead and find the inverse of 5, 6, and 7. All right, find the inverse of 5, 6, and 7. Now, come on, try to stay with me. Try to stay with me. Big day for some of you tomorrow. Expect a big improvement from some. All right. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you about the lines. Okay. So we're going to find the inverse, or we're going to graph a line. And by the way, these almost the same exact questions are going to be up on the test. All right, I'm expecting you to draw an inverse. I'm expecting you to use a table to find the inverse. Ordered pairs, find the inverse. It's the first 5 or 6 questions. And then there's just the rest of them are inequalities. All right, so here we go. To graph, what I need you to do is I need you to find points that are on the graph. Now, somebody said yes today, do I have to find 3 points? Can I just do 2? I always say if you do 3 points, if you make a mistake, you can correct your mistake. But if you don't do 3 points, if you make a mistake, you won't know it. All right? So now we have to identify those 3 points that I just drew. All right? And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be 10, 0, 0, -4, and over here it would be -10, -8. Does everybody see that? Now we're going to do the inverse. All right, so if I do the inverse, it would be 0, 10. It'd be -4, 0, and it'd be -8, -10. Does everybody see that? Now all I did was I just wrote the points. Now what I want to do is I want to graph those 3 points. All right, so let's graph 0, 10, -4, 0, and then -8, -10. And then what I want you to do is, if you draw that line, the blue line represents the inverse. All right? Is everybody happy with that? Yes.
Do you have to like write it in that order?
Oh, I don't care what order.
Okay.
I'm grading the graph.
Oh.
Right. Now, the other thing I want you to do, which I'm probably not going to mention on the test tomorrow, but I would like for you to graph y equals x. All right, and graphing y equals x is just the line that goes right through the origin. All right, and the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because hopefully you can see that is the line of symmetry. All right. So every inverse function is symmetric about the line y equals x. All right? Everybody okay with that? Again, very easy. You just have to identify a couple points that are on the graph, switch them, graph them, draw the line. No, you're not going to have to do y equals x tomorrow. I'm just trying to show you. That's been on several standardized tests where they ask you about inverses. All right, what they're reflected around. What?
Just when you put the 10, negative 10 comes 8 and negative 4 comes 0, how do you know that the 4 and the 10 comes 0?
The x always is first. You always plot the x first, then you plot the y. All right, so let's do number 9 just to make sure you heard me. All right, I'm going to find 3 points. All right, so I see this point right here. I'm seeing this point right here. And I'm seeing this point right there. Now I'm labeling those points. All right, just to make sure you see that's 2, 4, 6. So this point right here is 6, 4. This point right here is 0, 6. And this is negative 6, 8. Everybody see that? All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, yes, we're going to do the inverse now. All right. And so the inverse becomes 8, negative 6. It's kind of hard to see. And then 6, 0. And then 4, 6. Does everybody see that? Yep. Then you plot those points. 4, 6 would go right up here. 6, 0 would go over here. And 8, negative 6 looks like right there. And then when you draw that line, there you have it. And then we have the line y equals x. All right. Everybody see? Easy. Well, now you got to concentrate. You got about 30 more minutes of me trying to work with you, make sure you're good for tomorrow. Last test. Any questions with that? Any questions? All right. So you can practice 10 for tonight. Now let's look at question number 11. On question number 11, I want you to remember it's y equals 8x minus 5. So now we switch the x and y. When I switch the x and y, it becomes, very good, x equals 8y minus 5. Now from there, we're isolating the y again. So we have x plus 5 equals 8y. And then we divide both sides by 8. So we say y equals x plus 5. And you can leave it in that format. All right, however, I would like for you to remember that the symbol for inverse is everybody okay with this? F negative 1. All right, that's just the symbol for inverse.
So if we actually did divide it out, like on the
I don't care. If you write 1/8x plus 5/8, I'm totally fine.
Okay.
If it's the same, it's okay.
Shouldn't the x be negative?
Should the x be negative? Okay, so you tell me. Now look right here. That's a very good question, Rick. I moved.
Oh wait, never mind. I see you.
All right, good. Come on, girls. All right, everybody try number 12. Now, when you start out with number 12, I tell my kids, to me, it's easier to just go ahead 6x plus 42. Right? Now rewrite it. All right? So x equals 6y plus 42. X minus 42 equals 6y. Y equals x minus 42 all over 6. Everybody okay with that? Now, someone said something, so I want to go ahead and make sure you guys understand. This is also 1/6 x minus 7. Make sure you see that. Everybody see?
You always have to write half
The negative 1. Yes, because that is the symbol for, or to show that you've taken the inverse. All right, let's just do one more. 13. So again, we could say y equals 3/4 x plus 9. So now x equals 3/4 y plus 9. So x minus 9 equals 3/4 y. And so now 4/3 x minus 9 equals y. Remember, multiplying by the reciprocal to undo a fraction. And then f inverse. Everybody good with that? Any issues? It's not hard. Yes, sir.
So when you get a fraction on these, you just have to multiply
By the reciprocal, yes. If you're trying to undo a fraction, this 3/4 attached to the y, to get rid of the 3/4, you need to do 4/3. Yes, sir.
I actually multiplied, I distributed them.
Yeah, if you distribute, you just get 4/3 x minus 12. Okay. Yes. No, the whole quantity. All right, so he just said something kind of like that. You can say, no, it's okay. I was just trying to make myself clear, that's all. So you could write 4/3 x minus 12. You okay with that now? Good. All right. So again, of course, I don't care too much about the word problem there. All right, don't study that. Study 1 through probably 14. 1 through 14. Look it over, please. Look it over. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to jump back to our inequality, right? And now what I want to do now is I want to, for you, right? Would anybody like me to do a particular problem that you tried last night? Now again, if you recall, if you scroll down, all the answers are there, so you can tell whether or not you got the right answer. All right? Come on. Nobody? We did some extra work yesterday at the end of the day, so some of you got it taken care of. But can I help you with anything in particular here? Yes, sir. What about the decimal problem at the very end? Let's do that one. I think it was, 20. Yeah, here we go.
I get that one.
All right, so everybody take a look at 20 for a quick second. Now, decimals are just like fractions in the sense that we can eliminate the decimal. All right? To eliminate the decimal, I can just multiply by 10. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to put brackets here and here. That just means I'm going to multiply everything by 10. So I'm going to multiply this by 10, this by 10, and this by 10. Now, some people made a mistake. If I multiply by 10, it's just 3 parentheses x minus 2 plus 1 is less than or equal to 4. Is everybody okay with that? Please look at that now. Yeah, now you've eliminated the decimal. A little bit easier. Honestly, probably not, since you asked me. Right? There might be a fraction, but again, I don't really care if it's on the test. My real concern is, do you understand how I eliminated the decimal? I just multiplied by 10. All right, because 0.3 times 10 is 3. All right, now we can distribute. So we have 3x minus 6 plus 1 is less than or equal to 4. 3x minus 5 is less than or equal to 4. 3x is less than or equal to 9, so x is less than or equal to 3. And if you are less than or equal to 3, that means you're going from negative infinity to 3, like that. Anybody have any questions or concerns on that? Yes, sir.
If you did the decimal, would you get
The same exact answer. Because when you're dividing the decimals, that's when they would cancel out. You want me to show you that, or do you think you got it? Think you're good? What? 16. Here we go. Let's take a look at 16. All right. Now, we have to distribute the 2/3. So we would say 2/3 times 3, you should be able to tell me is 2x. Can you see that? 2 times 2, or 2 times 3 divided by 3. And then the next one would be 2 times 6 divided by 3, which would be 4. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now we're combining terms. 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to 5. 2x is less than or equal to 8, so x is less than or equal to 4. If you're less than or equal to 4, that means you're heading to negative infinity to 4. Yes. Negative 4 plus 1, I combined terms.
Oh,
All right, good for you, buddy. Combining terms, negative 4 plus 1. Come on, work. Come on, work. Do we have any issues? Somebody else want me to do a problem for you? Ben, good for you. All right, let's just jump to 18. All right, now in this particular problem, Ben, we're just going to get rid of the plus 11 by subtracting 11. Do you agree with me? So now I have 6 minus x over 2 is less than 15, right? Now I have division. How do I do division? Multiply both sides by 2. So 6 minus x is less than 30. Now subtracting 6. Negative x is less than 24. Negative means you change the signs. X is greater than negative 24. If you're greater than negative 24, that means you're going from negative 24 to infinity. What?
why is the 24 negative?
Because it's right here. Negative x is less than 24. So essentially you're either multiplying by negative 1 or dividing by negative 1.
Okay, I see.
Okay? Hey, concentrate. Leave it alone. You Focus. Do some practice problems if you're bored.
We didn't change to -24 because the sign switched.
The sign changes. Whenever you multiply or divide by negative, all signs change. If you'll notice that x was negative, now it's what? Positive. It was less than, now it's greater than. The 24 was positive, now it's negative. All right? Somebody else? Anybody else? Last chance. Good, Alex. Good for you.
Wait, did y'all? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just did that, so why don't you look up there on the board and see if you're good with that or not. Girls, nothing I need to explain. Practice now. Okay? Your job is, if you haven't finished the IXLs, finish the IXLs. Work on them. I promise you, 100% sure, the first 5 or 6 problems are just like the inverse problems. Then after that, there's like 12 inequalities. All I did was I looked at these problems. I started at the top, and I went down, and in some cases, I just wrote the same exact problem. And in other cases, I just changed the numbers just a little bit. And then there'll be 5 or 6 like the SAT problems, where you have to discuss inequality. It'll give you an inequality question. You have to like graph it or do something. It's not that difficult. All right? Review. Do IXL.
Is the Excel 80 or 90?
What did I say, guys? Yeah, I think it was 90. All right. So get to work. Get to work. Get to work.